Japan's restaurants, supermarkets, and convenience stores are packed with practically every food imaginable. But that large amount is connected to the problems of food loss and food waste. Excess food packaging also leads to the creation of trash. Dealing with this trash costs over $14 billion a year. This time on Ethical Everyday, we'll be tackling the waste involved with food and looking at ways we can help reduce it.
So much plastic.
Hey Matthew, what's wrong?
Hey Lisa, my maid and butler, they're on vacation again.
You don't have a maid.
I do have aspirations.
Okay.
Every time I go shopping, it seems like all of the produce and the tofu, whatever I buy, is covered in plastic.
I know. But there is a term that people use to deal with this issue.
Yeah.
It's called zero waste. Right, House?
You're right, Elisa. You do know your stuff. Zero waste refers to reducing what we throw away with the goal of eliminating garbage altogether. In Japan, households produce approximately 30 million tons per year nationwide, including leftover food and container waste. In 2020, that amounted to about 539 kilograms of garbage per household per year. That's equivalent to about 67,000 plastic shopping bags.
Wow, House.
There is this one supermarket in Kyoto that I really love, and they're working to solve these kind of waste problems. And here's my report on what they're up to.
Excellent.
Kyoto, Japan's ancient capital. The city has been proactive in reducing waste, cutting the 820,000 tons it generated annually at its peak by half over 20 years. This Kyoto supermarket is trying to get its waste down to zero.
入り口に大きくゼロウェイストという文字が書いてありますね。早速行ってみましょう。ほんと種類が豊富で何を買うかいつも悩んじゃいます。
The store offers about 700 organic food items, including fresh fruit and vegetables, dried foods such as seaweed, nuts, and dried fruit. None of the products are individually wrapped.
卵なんかも全部そのまんま売られていて、紙のパックを再利用して買うことができたりとか、ここだと全部裸で売られてるので、すごい気持ちよく買い物ができると思います。
The store's key feature is its sell-by-weight system. Customers weigh the goods themselves on scales placed near the products, purchasing only what they need.
じゃあちょっとグラノーラを今日は買っていきたいと思います。ここでの買い物は基本的に自分の容器を何か持ってきて、そこに好きな量だけ入れて買って帰るっていうものなんですけど、こちらの重さがわからないので、お店に置いてある計量カップを最初使って重さを測っていきます。
The weight of the cup is recorded in a label on the bottom. So the measured weight is only for the contents, not the container. All product cases are equipped with sensors. When customers take an item, the sensor is triggered and sends information about the purchase to the nearest scale.
これをこのまま測りに乗せます。私がさっきバーを触ったので、これを買ってるんじゃないですかというサジェスチョンが届くんですね。グラノーラをタッチすると この重さは容器を引いた中身が今 286g ありますよ。合計金額はこの値段ですよという値段になってます。
A label is printed with the quantity and price of the product. The label is then affixed to the container, the product is transferred, and the process is complete. Any container can be used, and no packing material is produced. If you haven't brought your own container, you can borrow one for a small deposit. You get your money back when you return the container. Today's purchase also includes somen noodles, sea lettuce, and black pepper. Buying only what you need means no leftovers, and nothing to throw away. The company that operates the store got its start importing organic food and wine from Europe. Mona Neuhaus has been managing public relations for the store since its inception.
食材をヨーロッパから輸入するにあたり、やっぱりすごく梱包のゴミが出てしまう。そういう自然でできたものとゴミを出す矛盾に気づいて、2019年に初めて小売りのお店をオープンしました。
At first, the company had a hard time finding a good system for weighing products. Neuhaus says it took too much time and often kept customers waiting.
当時はもう本当に量りがあり、お客様に容器を測っていただいてから、その容器の重さをお伝えいただき、で食材を入れたものをまた私たちが測り、でそこでお会計の時も、アプリを使って会計するという形でかなりマニュアルで手作業という感じではありました。
Around that time, Teraoka Kazuharu, who shopped at the store, stepped in.
彼らの志は素晴らしいんだけども、こんなやり方だったらとってもないけどビジネスにならないなと思ったんでね、そこのところで我々技術で協力するからどうですかって話をねしたんですよ。
Teraoka's company is a long-established manufacturer of scales with customers all around the world. These days, Japanese supermarkets tend to sell prepackaged items, so demand for scales is down. Teraoka was trying to revive selling by weight in an effort to expand his business. That's when he came across this store and proposed a collaboration.
やっぱりお互いにいいものを作りたいっていう気持ちはあるから、そこのところでコミュニケーションを図っていくとどんどんいろいろ出てくるんですよね。いわゆるブレインストーミングですよね。ああいうようなことが自然発生的に出てくる。
The store and the scale manufacturer began working together. These scales are used exclusively for liquids. Weighing the container isn't necessary. That's because the bulk container is on a scale.
通常ですとまず、自分の持ってきた液体の容器を測って入れるんですけど、この最新の測りの場合もう来店いただいて容器をここに置いて、入れるだけでどれくらい買ったかは分かる。
The panel shows the total amount of product with the amount put in the container adjusted to calculate the price. Eliminating the need to weigh the container makes the whole process simpler. In addition, this system uses the latest imaging technology. A camera identifies the type of vegetable placed on the scale. It allows customers to buy vegetables and fruits with different prices for each season and producer. The system is still under development, but is having a trial run at the store. Both the store and the scale manufacturer believe that as scales evolve and selling by weight becomes more common, zero-waste shopping will become more widespread.
オーガニックも量り売りもゼロウェイストも当たり前のように取り入れられるものにまずはしていきたいなと思うので、ここが専門店とかではなくそうですね、これがもっともっと普通になっていくといいなとは思ってます。
Ta-da! Look what I got!
Wow, right from the video.
Yes! Reusing these kind of containers actually reduces the waste, the container waste. So this umeboshi is actually for you. It's
For
a
me?
souvenir.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank
there
you. That's
go.
so sweet. I love to eat umeboshi with natto.
Yeah, it
Mixing
goes
it together,
so
it's so
good.
great.
It's a deposit, so you have to bring it back to the store, okay?
Oh,
when
thank
you're
you.
done eating.
It looks really good. And so this card is very funky.
I know, right? They invented this as well. It's made especially for bulk shopping. So you can bring your container, and so you use this as a table. So you have your containers maybe down here and bring it up on the table, open the container and get things that you want as much as you want and measure it and put a sticker on it and you're done.
Excellent, excellent.
And there is this girl who's still working on the project to spread this kind of bulk shop, zero waste shops around throughout Japan. So let's ask her about what they're thinking now.
Great.
Yeah. Hi, Mona.
Hi, Mona.
Thank
Hi,
you for
nice to
today.
see you.
Mona, your store is such a wonderful idea, really. So I was wondering, customers who go in for maybe the first time, are they as surprised as I was?
Because it's such a big scale and there's so much, a lot of technology that you wouldn't find in other stores. I think the first time is a little bit of an adventure, but the second time gets a lot easier.
Excellent. Is there one close to me in Tokyo, or are there things I can do to reduce my waste similarly?
Yeah, and I think there's also new websites, apps that tell you where you can buy zero waste things. But our mission for the company is to increase as many zero waste shops as possible, not only in our name, but so that other people can open these shops more easily. So we currently provide these sort of support programs and seminars and so on. So that's one thing that we're doing.
So the system that you bring your container to the store is actually very effective for reducing container waste, of course, but it's actually effective for reducing, eliminating food waste as well. So we would like to see more about that. Let's see.
At the Kyoto store we mentioned earlier, prepared foods also play a role in reducing food waste. That's because they are made from ingredients that are unsold or nearing their expiration date. These dishes are made in the restaurant kitchen in the back of the store. Vegetable peels and seeds aren't removed, which greatly reduces the amount of waste. Every day before the store opens, the staff checks the vegetables and selects the ones that will go to the kitchen.
黒くなった部分、こういう部分は見た目が良くなかったりとか、ジュクジュクしてしまったりする部分もあるので、そういうものは基本的にはもうコンポストにしてもらって肥料に使われるようにしています。
Deep-fried vegetables are tossed with seasoning to complete a dish of spicy mabo summer vegetables. At this time of year, seasonal items such as eggplant and zucchini are often purchased in large quantities, so they frequently appear in prepared dishes. Instead of buying ingredients for just the prepared items, they are constantly seeking ways to use up whatever they have on hand. In addition, tofu nearing its best-by date is frozen, then defrosted, rolled into balls, and fried to make tofu nuggets. And they are always working to develop recipes that can help achieve their zero-waste goal.
Mona, the food all looked so good.
Thanks. Yeah, no, it's super delicious and nutritious as well. So the kitchen staff and also kind of the full-time staff, we all share ideas on how to best use up our vegetables and other fresh foods. So then, we might come up with new ideas to make it even more delicious to use up the skin of a vegetable or something that you would usually use as is. For example, freezing the tofu actually makes it easier to make them into nuggets. So that's kind of one way you think zero waste and it becomes even tastier. So we do share these sort of ideas.
Really motivating, thank you. It makes me want to waste less food.
Yeah, and talking about sharing, you guys are putting a lot of efforts on kind of educating other people.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of new business ideas that can still be developed in this zero waste space. So I don't think we should see this as just a challenge or something difficult, but it's such a big opportunity for businesses to come in and provide these new services to us.
Yes. Thank you so much, Mona.
Yeah, you
Thank
were
you
wonderful
both.
and so eloquent.
Thank you. I'll speak to you soon.
Thank you.
Matthew,
Yes, House?
food loss is a serious problem. Do you know how much perfectly good food goes to waste? The current amount of food waste in Japan is approximately 5.2 million tons per year. Since reporting first began in 2012, the amount has gradually decreased and is now at its lowest point. But it still comes out to 41 kilograms per person per year. If we assume that a croissant weighs 40 grams, that's equivalent to 1,000 croissants per person per year going into the trash. There are many other environmental impacts associated with food waste, such as the large amount of energy used to produce the food and the CO2 emitted to transport and incinerate it.
1,000 croissants a year of food being wasted?
Oh, that is too many.
Je ne sais quoi. I'm sorry for my terrible French, but it's really unfortunate and can be changed.
Right, it's shocking, right? But I think the simplest thing that we can do is just not to waste food and finish everything that we have on our plates. And we actually have some other people who are working to tackle this problem. Let's watch it together.
Excellent.
Okay?
Higashi Matsuyama in Saitama Prefecture is about 50 kilometers from Tokyo. Here, many people are working together to tackle food waste. It all starts at this farmer's market. Every morning, local farmers offer freshly picked vegetables that they have grown with great care.
こんな種一粒から育ててきて、その一つですから、買い物ですよね。
At 4 p.m., the market closes. Then, the staff packs up any unsold vegetables. The market requires that produce be sold the day it is picked. Whatever was left over used to be given away or discarded. Now, these vegetables are brought to a nearby railroad station. It's part of a project launched by a venture company. Unsold vegetables are purchased at low prices and transported to the city center, where there are a lot more potential customers. The railroad company provides space on an inbound evening train when it is relatively empty.
16時58分に発車する快速急行池袋行きの一番前の車両、そこにですね24箱の箱を置いて、その箱に野菜を積んで運んでおります。 CO2 の排出量なんですけど、自家用車と比べて電車は7分の1の排出量で済みますので、もともと運転している列車で 輸送しておりますので、かなり環境には優しいのかなと思っております。
The process is managed by students from a university in Higashi Matsuyama. Approximately 20 students are participating as interns.
やっぱり農家の方が大切に育てた野菜を販売して、それでも売れ残ってしまったというものなので、やっぱり何としてでも売り切って食べていただけたらなというような思いでいつも取り組んでおります。
They have arrived at Ikebukuro Station in Tokyo. This is where the students enter the next phase of the process. With millions of passengers per day, Ikebukuro is one of the busiest stations in Japan. The students run a produce stand here. The stand operates 3 times a week. They have the space for 2 hours. In order to sell everything, they use several strategies, including attractive pricing. It's gotten very popular, and a long line can form before the 6:30 opening.
すいません、お待たせしました。ただいまから営業開始になります。
It's been successful, and the vegetables are selling well.
いや、もう安くてびっくりで嬉しいです。
買っていこうと思いました。買っちゃいました。
自分の知り合いも農家さんが多いんで、そういったところですごいいい試みで農家さんも喜びますし。
An hour since sales began. Customers have waned, so the students began adding discounts.
ご添乗お買い上げのお客様は150円引きのお買い得なタイムセールも行っております。
At 8:30 p.m., the produce stand closes for the day. This is all that is left of the original 24 boxes of vegetables.
売れ行き良かった。売れ行き良かったよ。人が少ない割には頑張ったかなと思う。いやでももっと本当は売れた方がいいですよ。なかなかまだまだ。
Whatever went unsold is reused in things like free lunches for children.
唐辛子とかが売れにくかったので、そこのどう売っていけばいいのかとかっていうのはみんなでまた話し合って、そこをいい改善を見つけて次回につなげていきたいなとは思ってます。
How amazing are they?
They're so incredible, and selling vegetables at the station seems like a real victory on behalf of the consumers during their commute, and also for farmers.
Yes, and it's always important to see those kind of issues from different perspectives as well. Like in the video, there were sales, right?
Yes.
And sometimes I myself tend to buy too much because it's so cheap and it feels like, maybe I can finish all of it. It's important to think about what you're gonna make with the purchase that you're doing, and think about recipes like the store has to extend the life of the food.
Recently, I felt like people younger than me are much more concerned about this than my generation is or was, and it's so great to see this change.
Right, so encouraging, isn't it? I think there are many more younger people who are really interested in doing something about the environmental issues.
Elisa, Matthew, we've got a visitor.
Hello, こんにちは。紹介します。大学生グループボーノの中山美代さんです。
どうもよろしくお願いします。
よろしくお願いします。
どんな活動をされてますか？
子どもの食育イベントを中心にしていて、世界の食文化を伝えたり、世界のお弁当とかを提供したりしています。
Bono was founded by students at Ritsumeikan University in 2020. They hold workshops for children to teach about food and SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. At the workshops, they use non-standard ingredients to make international home cooking. Eating and enjoying this food gives children the chance to think about issues like food loss.
今日はお二人に料理作ってきました。
嬉しいです。美味しそう。
これは何ですか？
これはズッキーニベイクという料理で、これはオーストラリアの家庭料理になります。
へー。
何が入ってますか？
こっちのズッキーニとか人参、あとは玉ねぎとかも入ってます。はい、お野菜たっぷりの。
それ全部規格外のお野菜ですか？
一見普通に見えますよね。
見えます。
でもこことここで太さが違ったりだとか、こっちが太すぎるっていうことでお店には並べられないって言われた商品です。
そうなんですか。そういう細かい基準ありますね。知らなかったです。
ちょっと形が小さかったりするとちょっと味が濃かったりとか、大きすぎたらちょっと水分が多いので味が薄かったりはするんですけど、お料理によっていろんな使い方ができるので逆に楽しむことができます。
なるほど。
いいですか？じゃあいただきます。すごく美味しい。
よかった。
さっぱりしてますね。
美味しい教育だよね。例えば具体的にご飯を食べながらどういうことをされてるんですか？
その食育イベントで世界を取り上げてやっていて、その国のこともそうですし、国の社会問題を伝えた上でその国のお弁当を食べてもらうっていう食育イベントを行っています。
ああ、いいですね。どんな問題取り上げてますか？
オーストラリアの時は山火事の問題が世界的にも大きな問題になっていて、その話をするのはもちろん、あとはそのオーストラリアの特有の生き物が結構多かったり、その生き物を守ることの大切さについて。
素晴らしいですね。そういう総合的なエティカルな生活、
まさに
複数の点
ね。
結構そのイベントの後とかも保護者さんからメールとかいただいたりするときに、なんか帰ってきてお姉ちゃんに自信満々で話してましたとか言われるとすごい嬉しくって、
当たり前を変えていけそうだよね。子どもたちに話をすることで、もうこれ食べれるものじゃんって親に逆に教育してしまうくらいな流れになるとすごいいいかもしれないよね。
できるね。
できそうだよね。
There are so many ethical ways of approaching the food that is the very basis for our existence. Thanks for the inspiration. See you next time.